So over the weekend, Britain First held a remigration rally there in the UK, and this is how it went.
You're a star, mate.
Oh, we love you.
Well, as you heard from the leader of Britain First himself, today marks Manchester for the English, and this is one of the first times a major right-wing political party has talked about remigration, the concept of the repatriation of people who democratically, risk the security of our people.
See the juice vault there. And so it's in relation to this.
One final question. You told the Daily Mail in March that you would put illegal immigrants and asylum seekers in, quote, a tented camp with a minimum amount of food. There are islands off the Scottish and English coast where they can be detained, put them there and let the midges do the rest. Do you mean that?
I did say that.
Which islands?
I stand by my opinion, Victoria, which is that people who arrive here illegally should be detained and deported. I've put forward my plan for a tented camp. I don't think we should be welcoming them unduly with, new telephone, new mobile phones, luxury accommodation, delivery jobs. My view is firmly you start with the illegal migrants and you deport them.
Yeah.
You detain
Take
them.
care of your people
They
first.
come over in a boat. And I wouldn't make it that
logical.
comfortable either. I would put them in a tented camp on a West Coast island until they were deported to wherever they should be living. Put them on an island in a suitable part of the UK, give them a bowl of porridge and a tented camp, and let the midges do the rest. But that's a sort of worst case situation. But detain, deport, detain, deport, detaining and deporting, detained and deported. I would deport.
So yeah, there was a massive turnout. It seemed like everything went well. Well, kind of. There was also what's this here? There was also a counter-protest, which we'll get to in just a second. This is the reason, one of the many reasons, but this is the reason as to why the protests was happening. This is the reason.
2 Afghan illegal migrants jailed for raping a schoolgirl. The footage exists. She filmed herself during the rape. Even the men's barrister warned it would lead to disorder if it was released, as it was so horrific. "You're going to rape me," the girl cried as she was dragged away. She screamed for help and begged not to be taken. One of the migrants gagged her with his hand. The Afghan men forced her to perform sex acts in a secluded area. She is heard screaming for help. She calls for her friends. She wants to go home. She's pleading for help from passers-by. None came. Can you imagine her horror, her fear, her desperation? Think if it was your daughter.
Yep.
How would that make you feel?
Yep.
Honestly, think about that.
Would the Honourable Member give way?
I will give way.
He is making a very powerful introduction to his speech. He and I share profound concerns regarding the scale of illegal migrants in the UK and their ability to arrive here and disappear. The case he speaks of yesterday, the most disturbing thing for me is that we are being gaslit by the media.
That's
because
right.
These 2 Afghani boat arrivals were described as being from Leamington. They're not from Leamington. Would you agree with me that women and girls are less safe in this United Kingdom now, today, than they were 5 years ago?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Of this reason?
I thank the Honourable Member for her intervention, and I completely agree with what you're saying. The girl was then pushed to her knees before being brutally raped. Another, one of too many. Last year, a 35-year-old Iranian small boat migrant raped a 15-year-old girl in an alleyway. He was known to police in Germany, where he was convicted of assault offences.
Yep.
He told the girl she could be his sex doll, and that he wanted to, and I quote, fuck her, before dragging her down an alleyway, forcing her to her knees outside a secluded doorway, and then raping her. The poor girl's anguished mother later asked, why was he in this country?
Yeah, great question. And I know this is not an isolated incident. We've seen on X, we've seen on YouTube, we've seen on all the social media platforms how this continual influx of immigration from these PvP server countries, they all come in, they take over, they don't give a damn about the lay of the land, the law of the land. They've got no interest in any of that sort of stuff. They've come to take over. And unfortunately, yes, a lot of it has to do with Islam. A lot of it is because of Muslim ideology. Sure, people go ahead and say, oh, but those are just the radicals. The religion is radical. The religion is radical based on the Quran. Yep. The Muslims that aren't radical, technically, they're not really following the Quran properly then. And I think this is a logical, it's not a I think. Objectively, this is a logical stance to take. Because for too long it's been happening in the UK. It's starting to happen more and more in America. I mean, look at Mom Dami there in New York. It has to stop. And I think this is a logical stance to take, and I can understand 100% why so many people are behind Rupert Lowe and why he's blowing up on social media. Rightfully so. So anyway, then in relation to the protest that was happening on Saturday, I haven't seen too many people. What the hell? I haven't seen too many people responding to. There was the counter protest as well, which is fantastic. So I thought we should watch it, just a little bit of this. I see it's quite a fairly longish one, so we're not going to play all of it. But I thought we would just look at a little bit of the counter protest from all the socialists and the Islamists in retaliation. They're running around like little ants, crawling all over each other, causing nothing but chaos. Can't keep it civil, these people. It's always got to be an existential crisis with them. Great, blowing his little gay horn there.
They failed.
Let's also look at the flags. I find it fantastic. I think we'll see a bit more now. Incredible. And just like you can tell by the flags, look at them. What do they represent? That's a whole hodgepodge of nonsense. It's supposed to be English flags. It's England, isn't it? Jeez, like. Jeepers, and look at that Karen over there. No, geez, like you can see she's not happy. That's a great picture. Look at that, eh? Isn't that just perfect? Those two flags flying side by side. That's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh man, these people, amazing. And yeah, there it is. Once again, the typical fascist. Wait, what was that? Sorry. Let's take that back for a second. Rupert was there as well. Yes, quality. Jewish activists for Palestine. Yep. That's great. These people know nothing about nothing. So yeah, there's a cop cars and all that. Yeah, great. Anyway, you guys can watch that in your own time if you want. But yeah, I find it ridiculous. Then yeah, there's this other X account that I found. Fantastic stuff as well. Really, really quality material.
I mean, look at our health service. I was in hospital yesterday. The people looking after me, I had Muslim nurses, I had Indian doctors, I had people from Europe. If we didn't have immigrants in this country, where would we be? Where would we be?
We're looking at these.
It's such a cope, you know. Like it's. I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of English-born nationals that could probably fill those positions. It's such a cope.
Guys all shouting about small boats and people scrounging off the system. The biggest benefit scroungers in this country are the billionaires.
Yeah, there it is. There's a typical, you know, it's the billionaires' fault. That's why we need to tax the rich. These people don't think, you know, long-term kind of thing. They don't think. You think billionaires are stupid? You know, these are clearly average folk. I mean, maybe even a little bit below average. But look, if you tax the rich aren't stupid. What are they going to do? They're going to increase prices. That's going to affect the poor more. Taxing the rich isn't the solution. It never has been, never will be. It doesn't work like that. But they've got this mental thing in their brains that nope, that's how it works, so therefore I'm right, everybody else is wrong. Not only is everybody else wrong, but you're a Nazi. It's not just being about wrong, it's you're a Nazi. You're a racist. You're just the devil incarnate. And it's ridiculous.
These all shouting about small boats and people scrounging off the system. The biggest benefit scroungers in this country are the billionaires.
I'm here in Manchester asking Mancunians why it's important for them to oppose the far right.
Racism has taken a massive step forward on our streets, and we need to show people that we are pushing back against it, that it's not okay, that we're not going to let these people take over. These are our streets, they are for everybody. Immigrants are welcome.
What would you say about
This is the problem. Again, they're so convinced that it's racist. It's got nothing to do with race. It's got to do with ideology. It's got to do with the lack of assimilation. It's got to do with really a whole bunch of other things besides race. The lack of integration, the lack of wanting to work. This idea of we can just sponge off the system and sponge off hardworking taxpayers and we can just, you know, live comfortable lives. In South Africa, we've been having this for the past 30 years since the ANC has been in power. I know it doesn't work. It ends in disaster when the socialists rule. It's ridiculous.
the billionaires who seem to be stoking division with the rhetoric about immigrants?
It's the oldest strategy in the world, divide and conquer. Do you see the left growing? Do you see more people who want to look after each other and
divide and conquer? You people are so divided already. It's not even a joke. Like these leftists, you know, they've got this, their ideology is always changing, continually changing. You think you're left one day, and then the ideology changes the next day, and then you're not quite left enough. You need to adjust your ideology or else you get excommunicated from the cult.
Support each other. The only thing they've got is to go into working class communities and split people in two.
I'm really concerned about the rising levels of fascism, of Islamophobia. I feel like this country is turning into 1930s Germany.
You know, Islamophobia is a bad kind of understanding. A phobia is irrational fear. There's no irrational fear about Islam. According to the Quran, there's very good reasons why anybody that isn't Islamic would be afraid of Islam. Historically speaking and textually speaking, based off their own texts, There's a reason.
Germany, instead of reviling the Jews, reviling the Muslims and immigrants and blaming all of society's problem on them. And the problem is the uber wealthy who want to control all of us.
And no, okay, I'm not going to watch anymore. This is nonsense. Once again, it's a lack of assimilation. Every other country in the world doesn't have the issue that the West has. And thanks to this ilk, it's unfortunately like that. Then this one I really liked. I think this pretty much sums it up right here. And I also find it comical that they get so triggered by it. Man, it's just, yeah, we've got ideologies, we've got understandings that are just honestly incompatible. See, and there's the Crusader flags right there. And they'll get so touched by it. Oh man, she's like, I can hear the leftists screaming. No, that's just so terrible. And I suppose people might be thinking, oh, why are you so concerned about England? Why are you so concerned about the UK? Why are you concerned about these things? You don't live there. It's got nothing to do with you. No. The difference is I can see what that looks like. And that's starting to look more and more similar to what we've been having in South Africa for the past 30 years. Sure, ours is a little bit different. You could say it's a little bit worse, I guess, in the sense that the vast majority were black people. Again, not racist. The problem is the ideology. The problem is we've never had a unified identity to begin with here in South Africa. So, because we never had a unified identity, we were quicker to allow any kind of identity to come in, because we never did work it out. And that's why it's so important for English people, for the people of Britain, for the people of the UK to remember their Christian heritage, to remember their Christian identity. And so you can see, I can see, socialism caused the woes of what happened in South Africa. And I can see it happening in the UK. And we've been having repercussions for a very long time. Crazy laws, crazy policies put in place for the sake of, really at the end of the day, favoring the majority on the backs of the tax-paying white people, and sure, some black people, granted. But the black people are far more favored. Because of course it's all about redress, because somehow white people are scum. And of course I don't need to tell you guys that. Social media has. And the concern is, it's this. I don't want this to become the norm in any Western country. I don't want any of that to be how it happens, because it's not right. It's not. Only in the West is the white man demonized to the extent that, and sure, in South Africa long enough that this starts to happen. And sure, they'll say, oh no, it's not genocide, oh no, it's not. It's not. South Africa is a violent place. It is. How did it get like that? Socialists. Take back your countries. Alright folks, have a good one. I'll check you on the next one.